Hello and welcome to the Organizational Leadership and Decision Making course overview. The agenda for this conversation is first, we'll start by going over the syllabus. Then we'll talk a bit about where the points are in this course, which is always an important thing to know. And then we'll conclude with a discussion around residency and why it's important. And that also ties into the point distribution, which you'll see right away. So jumping into the syllabus. This is available online. It's the place where you want to start looking so that you're familiar with what is in the course syllabus. And again, this is for ITS 630, Organizational Leadership. This is a hybrid format course. What that means is that there is a residency component of this course, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. The short version of that is that residency is a time when we get together and you learn a lot and do a lot and learn and earn a fair amount of the points that are going to contribute towards your grade. So jumping into the instructor information, this is me, Dr. Alan Dennis. You can email me at alan.dennis@ucumberlands.edu. There's a number there that you can text or call. I may or may not answer because I'm very busy, but you can certainly leave a message. My office is remote. I am a virtual faculty member. I do not reside inside of Kentucky. And my office hours and preferred contact times are by appointment. So do feel free to reach out to me and set up a time where we can talk if need be. This course is all about governance and decision making. So we're going to talk about the various ways in which decisions can be made, especially with a technology sort of slant to things. And you're going to develop some skills that hopefully will help you whenever you're in a situation where technology decisions need to be made. You'll also be considering the fact that there are risks associated with most things. And a key skill to have developed is the ability to identify and balance risks with the potential rewards. The foundations for this course are pretty diverse. We pulled together stuff from a lot of different places, as you can see on the screen. We talk a bit about technology, we talk about finance, security, project management, leadership, and some other things that kind of all tie together so that we can speak to this topic. The following three course objectives are basically can be measured by, if you're successful at the end of this course, you should be able to do these things. The first one is you should be able to develop an IT strategy for business value. Then you should be able to explain the principles of business metrics. So how do we measure things inside of a business setting and how that applies in a business setting? And then we should be able to talk a bit about how you communicate with business managers, so how you share that information. During this course, you should learn the following. You should be able to basically tell the difference between leadership and management because they may seem similar, but they're quite different. And you should talk about how innovation assists organizations. So how that doing something in a different way can be beneficial to an organization and how it can help them be basically transformational in nature in both the principles and the practice. You should also be able to talk about how the culture within an organization impacts productivity. Some of these things are kind of intuitive, but organizations where people are happy typically are more productive. So those are important considerations to think about. You should also be able to talk about what ethical leadership is and how it impacts the culture of the organization. And then lastly, you should be able to evaluate leadership traits that are more the most influential and impactful in strategic business decisions. So what things about a leader makes them the most successful or their organizations be the most successful? The link is on the screen to the course website. The fact that you're watching this means that you have found it. Congratulations. But everything on this course is going to be inside of Blackboard, which is our learning platform. You have one required text for this course, Organizational Leadership by Bratton. You can locate it in the course or in the college library at cumber.beincollege.com and then find the textbook. And you want to look for this version, first edition of Bratton. Two suggested additional resources, if you're so inclined, is Organizational Ethics and Business Leadership Character. Again, if this is a domain that is of interest to you, you might want to invest in those additional resources. We're going to work our way through now the requirements and policies of this course. We're going to start with a discussion around academic integrity and plagiarism. This is a reoccurring theme in these courses, and so I want to set the expectation first off that it will not be tolerated. So plagiarism is a reoccurring theme, it is pervasive, and it is something that I take a personal obsession to, or a defect, or it bothers me a lot. I'll say it that way, and I spend time making sure that it is not tolerated and does not occur in my courses. We will be following the university's plagiarism guidelines. We do utilize plagiarism detection software such as SafeAssign. So the basic idea here is that whenever you submit an assignment, if you have copied that assignment from some other source, most likely I will be able to find that out, and I will I will give you a 0 on that assignment. And on your second instance of that, it will be turned over to the university and you will fail the course. So don't do it. Write your own work, use your own words. Don't copy from websites. Don't do synonym replacement. Don't use scripts or something that try to get you around it. Write stuff yourself. You will do far better in this course if you do your own work rather than using someone else's. Continuing with the policies for this course, you are expected to basically show up. So that means be engaged in the course room. And in particular, your attendance is required during the residency. There's no choice around it. If you do not engage in the course room within the first 2 weeks of class, you may very well be removed from the class. So make sure that you complete the assignments that are due when they're due early on. That includes the plagiarism pledge, which you have to complete within 48 hours of starting this course. So basically be engaged. You're paying for this. Make sure that you're getting your money's worth by showing up. This is the residency policy that basically explains what I've talked about before, that there is a residency. It is one weekend. And if you don't attend that weekend, then you will be forced to take a residency makeup at your own expense at a later date. And so you will then be required to find time to do that. Be on time. The residencies start at 5 p.m. on Friday. They run until 1 p.m. on Sunday. We stop around 7:30, I believe it is, on Saturday night, and around 10 or so on Friday night. So be present for the entire duration of the residency. Don't be late in the mornings. It does start early, but there's a reason for it, which is we have a certain number of hours that we need to be talking. So don't be late. You are expected to participate in this course. There are discussion board activities which you need to participate in. You will be graded for that, and you will be receiving detriment if you don't participate as is required according to the instructions. If you for some reason have disability of some sort, do reach out to the appropriate people in the Disability Services Coordinator's office and establish whatever paperwork and so on that needs to be in place. If for some reason that you feel that you need to appeal something in this course, this section discusses what you go through to do it, how it works, and so on. So generally speaking, this only becomes an issue in cases of plagiarism. And generally, so far, I have not had a plagiarism case overturned. So keep this in mind. If you feel there's an injustice, you have a right to challenge it. The student responsibilities, these are the things that you're expected to do. You are in a master's level course. As such, we expect you to be self-motivated and directed. It's not my job to remind you of your assignments, though I may or may not do so. It is your job to make sure that you pay attention to when things are due. And that you find the announcements, the deadlines, and so on, and act appropriately. You're expected to write in a professional and academic fashion. If for some reason you have challenges with that, there are resources available to assist you. Also, you may want to consider use of something like Grammarly. Grammarly is a fantastic tool for helping people that struggle with writing. It will make you a better writer if you use it, and as a student at University of Cumberland, you have rights and access to it. So do spend the time to figure it out. Here are some additional sort of requirements, but moving right along. The activities, what we expect out of you is to review the reading assignments and actually do the reading prior to doing your homework. We expect you to be actively engaged in the discussion and the assignments, and to turn in stuff that is appropriate for someone in an executive master's program. And we expect things to be done on time. Here are some additional links to support. This is also in your syllabus because I'm basically just working through what's in your syllabus. Do make sure that you do the same thing. Go through the syllabus on your own time. Make sure that you understand everything that's in there. You will be evaluated in several ways. There are actually no exams in this course, even though this says there are. Your assignments are primarily written and a presentation, both a mixture of discussion board, individual writing assignments, and a group writing assignment during residency. In addition, you are asked to do a practical connection assignment, which reflects upon how your job reflects or relates to this class, not someone else's. And believe it or not, I've had students that plagiarize this, which is kind of baffling to me, because how could someone else have the exact same job I have, and that how it affects them and what they learn from it be the same as how I would learn from it. So it is something that you should be writing based upon your experiences, your situation. The grading scale is typical. This course has 1,000 points total. 900 and greater is an A, 800 and greater is a B, a C is 700 to 8, basically. Below 700 is failing. This is a typical sort of scale. There's minor rounding, but don't expect it to go more than half of a percentage point whenever we're talking about what your grade will be. Do review the syllabus for all of the outline that goes over the various lessons that we will cover. It's also in the content folders inside of the course. Make sure you work your way through that and know what you're going to be doing over the next 16 weeks. Make sure you also look at the calendar for the due dates of when things are due. It's your job to be punctual and to make sure that things are turned in when they're due, because late assignments will not be accepted. The syllabus is possible to change. If it does change, you will be notified of the change. It's unlikely, but it could occur. So if I were taking this course, the first thing I would want to know is, where are the points? So given that question, this shows you. And basically, this course is a little different than some, because a vast majority of it is coming from the residency, far more than the 60%, which is typical. And that's primarily because of the practical connection assignment carries more weight in this course. Breaking that down just a little bit more of where is it going inside of that residency, you'll see that, again, the majority of it is coming from the group paper that you're going to be writing during residency. Also, the presentation that you'll create and present during residency, and the personal connection assignment show you pretty much where it is. Drilling in to the minutia, to the detail, you'll see that a large chunk of it comes from those points that we talked about, and the rest of it is split pretty much between discussion board posts and writing assignments. So plan accordingly. Make sure that you do really, really well on your practical connection assignment. Make sure, again, that it is your work and not someone else's. And with regards to your writing assignments, they will be checked for plagiarism. So while they may not count for many points, if 2 of them get flagged for plagiarism, you have failed the course. Doesn't matter how many points you have. 2 instances of plagiarism, you will fail. And continuing the discussion of residency, as though I haven't kind of impressed upon you enough, it is important. You do want to show up. Over 60% in this course of your points come in during residency. It is required to pass. Even if it were possible to pass the residency somehow without having completed that work, you would not pass, because it is required in order to pass this class. If you have to attend a makeup, it is going to be your responsibility and your cost to do so. Make sure that you're available from 5 p.m. On Friday evening until 1 p.m. on Sunday. Don't tell me that you've got something that you have to deal with during the middle of Saturday or whatever, or in the case of in-person residencies, well, my flight's at 1 o'clock, so I need to leave early. This is very clear from the onset. You must be present. You must be essentially in your seat between 5 p.m. on Friday until 1 p.m. on Sunday. Be engaged, be active, be present, or you may not do well. Make sure that you will be available throughout this time period because we will be doing attendance periodically to ensure that you really are present and that you stay present. And with that, I'll wrap this up. If there are any questions, do feel free to send me an email, text, whatever, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Welcome to the course. Do spend the time going through the syllabus yourself and make sure you understand it. If you have any questions, do let me know. And again, thank you and welcome.